Well, I think education is the key to understanding, and USCET has focused and successfully focused on educating Chinese and Americans about each other.
Many Chinese are fascinated by the United States, especially in terms of its culture, with policies that are not always easy to understand, even though these often have a big impact on China.
In 1988, Peking University invited me to visit and then to stay on campus in their centennial year. All my professional life, China was cut off from me because our two countries did not have any diplomatic relations. When this invitation came, I was very intrigued. So you can say that USCET began on the campus of Peking University. I have dedicated the last 20 years of my life to USCET, the U.S.-China Education Trust, because of my father and his legacy.
The value of American studies in China can be summed up in two ways. That is education and think tank contribution.
American studies is helping to boost the ability of Chinese to understand the United States at two levels: that of general understanding and well-informed media, and secondly, that of specialized advice to policymakers at all levels.
It provides a platform for contact and exchange of opinions between Chinese scholars and American scholars. It would play the role in understanding how you think and what you are thinking about.
Working with Beijing Foreign Studies University made a push to include graduate students in our deliberations, in the presentation of papers.
The first thing is to arouse their interest in American studies and how much we need to work on in exchange, raise their ability in research.
In 2000, we launched one of our most popular programs on the US elections. In 2016, the Central Party School sent a delegation to Washington, D.C., and by all accounts, the program was very successful. Programs like that help the Chinese understand how American government works, how our democracy works. It lends mutual understanding through our discussions.
I think that the importance of these programs goes up as relationships get worse. It's also important to know that the people-to-people relations, they are on a different track from the government relations. There are a lot of people who learn about each other and trade with each other and play sports with each other and watch movies, and who are not necessarily guided by the government.
By establishing the ASN and its annual conferences, USCET has provided a focal point for Chinese academics from many universities, more than 50 by now, to come together on an annual basis in a continuing conversation.
You never really know when you hit the jackpot. And the jackpot is when an individual comes to power, comes to influence and so forth, who has actually learn something in these programs. And, or else it's a person who is dealing with the United States, but is able to do so more intelligently than before because of these programs.
Educational exchange, exchanges that allow Chinese friends to come study in the United States, and what I think is as importantly, Americans to study in China. Nothing could be more important. And I think the message that is sent by sending children to study and live in China is a message that is unmistakable. If you are prepared to send your most treasured asset to China, not your money, not your business, but your children, that has to say something about respect and an ideal about living together for the future.
The more that the peoples and students of the two countries know about each other, the better. Right now, I think Chinese know more about America than Americans know about China. So we have to figure out a way of filling up that deficit. USCET is going to help us.